What's going on, everybody? My name is Halvu, and this is the Halvu Moto Vlog. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today's video is all about how to save money if you're in the market for a Honda CBR500R. I'm just going to go over some tips for all you new riders, maybe younger riders out there who are just trying to get into the sport, trying to get into this hobby, and just give you a good idea of kind of what to expect. I went through that process twice at the beginning of this year. I'm a brand new rider. I started in January of 2020. We're well into like June right now. And I bought two brand new bikes this year, traded one in, and now I'm currently on my 2020 CBR500R. Super stoked with it if you guys have seen my other videos. I'm just really enjoying it. I'm really happy with my decision. And just to get right into it, I know as a new rider, especially if you're young, and it can be really daunting to kind of think about this from a financial perspective. I mean, just to give you guys some insight, I would say that all in all, I've spent close to $10,000 getting into motorcycling so far, and my first year is not even over yet. What with insurance and gas and parts, and I'm trying to do my own service, but I don't really have any tools or anything like that. So that those were little expenses that I've had to make along the way too. Just like things to change my oil, right? I don't have any of that, or to work on the bike, like a tool set or like an oil pan or an oil filter, like removal tool, the oil itself. It's just a lot of little expenses. I took like the motorcycle safety course, which was a couple $100 for the weekend, and then gear. I'm really big into like cool looking helmets, so I'm always looking around for those. And just definitely the fact that I bought my bikes brand new, definitely that's a huge expense, right? So kind of at the end of the video, I'm going to go over kind of tips that I have on how to save money if you're just getting into this and you are concerned about the financial aspect of it. I have some things to say there, but first and foremost, if you are in the market for a brand new motorcycle, if you're looking for a CBR 500R, this really applies to any kind of motorcycle, really. If you're looking to buy brand new, things that I would do, certainly things that I did this time around, and then also, things that I would have done differently. The first thing that I would make sure you do if you're in the market for a new bike is go on to Google, and you're going to look for every motorcycle dealer within like a 200-mile radius of you. It really doesn't matter probably just anything in your state, right? And, if you're looking for a Honda, obviously look for Honda dealerships or anybody that carries Hondas. And you spend some time calling just like set a weekend aside, start in the morning and just call as many dealerships as you can and ask for sales. Guy will pick up and say, hey, I'm looking for a CBR 500R. He'll tell you if he has 2019s or 2020s. If you're in America, then you get the choice of ABS or not ABS. Save a couple $100 that way if you don't care for ABS. And you ask him what the out-the-door price is for whatever he has in stock. Out-the-door price, you got to remember that. And he will give it to you, right? He'll say $8,000 out the door for a 2020 with ABS. And then you say, thank you very much for your time. Goodbye. You write that down. You say John's Motorsports of, Vallejo, California. And you write down 8,000 for 2020 with ABS, right? Jot down those little notes. And then you just spend some time calling different dealerships, and then you get an idea of how much people are charging. You get kind of the guys who are giving you really good deals. Maybe he has like a sick deal on a 2019 left over, and like you're absolutely fine with that because you know that the 2019 and the 2020 model year, there have been no changes made. So if you're going to save some money, heck yeah, do that, right? And then you also have an idea of who's charging, like overcharging, right? A couple $100 more. So then this way, you have leverage. You have kind of buying power, like a negotiation starting point. When you decide to actually go into a dealership, probably you're going to go to the ones that are closest to you, maybe the ones with the best inventory. You can sit on the bike, browse other bikes, So you go into the dealership, and then, maybe you'll already know his price because you talked to him already. But then now you have a starting point. Like I said, you can say, hey, John's Motorcycle Heaven in Vallejo, California is, letting these go for $7,800 for the 2019 model, right? Can you meet me there? And, usually they want your business, and they're going to meet you there, and they're going to lower their price, or, at least, start that talk about how they can keep you in the door and, get you to buy from them. So I think that's a really great place to start. And then if not, if you're willing to go a little further for a better deal, then you can absolutely just say thank you for your time. If they're not trying to work with you, if they don't want your business, you can go and buy or at least, go to the other dealership that offers the cheapest price, because I figure the price that they give you out the door, my guess is that that's just, that's the best case scenario for the dealership, right? They give you that price, and if you don't haggle with them and they sell it at that price, they're super stoked. They're making a lot of money. They're making a lot of commission, right? But I think they just kind of have to have in mind that you're going to try to negotiate a little with them, right? And they're, so then it'll make it seem like they're doing you a big favor by lowering the price when really, they were giving you just their best case scenario for the out the door price. I mean, I don't know if that's a pessimistic way of looking at it, but I would assume that that's how it works. I'm not saying that salesmen are sleazy people, but I'm saying that, they're in it to make money, and, they will make money off of you if they can. I think you can pretty much bet on that. So another thing that I would say is once you're in a dealership and you feel pretty good about it, and you're feeling pretty good about the price that they're giving you, or you got them to knock it down a couple hundred, then they'll print you a little sheet with the out the door price and all the taxes and the fees and the breakdown of exactly why it's costing as much as it is. And this time, sit down and go through it with them. Go through every line item and see if there's some room. For me, I'll tell you specifically, they charged me $400 for something called dealer prep on my 2020 CBR500R. And looking back on it, I definitely should have called them out on this and just asked them to break that down for me, why that was so much money. I mean, I was in and out in an hour, right? So whatever dealer prep was in an hour, maybe they took the bike around the block, just to make sure it runs. They did that. They put a little bit of gas in it, didn't even fill it up. Not even halfway. They put a little bit of gas in it and check the fluids, check the tires. Is that $400 within the course of an hour? Does that really make sense? Can you tell me exactly why that's so much money? Can you maybe knock a couple $100s off of that if you can't tell me why, And so I think that's a great way to just kind of shave a couple more $100 off that final, that final asking price. If anything, it's, you can get that information, and you can make them be a little more transparent with you. And, that makes you, gives you some peace of mind, even if they're not willing to take down the price that much or at all, at least at least you feel better about what you're paying for. And I will say that my minimum payment on this, because I financed, after I traded in my CB300R, I financed a small portion, $2,000 roughly. And, I remember seeing the out-the-door price, just the total out-the-door price. My monthly payment is $120 for the course of 5 years. And if I only make that payment, it would have been, on the total price, of course, it would have been $2,000 worth of interest. So for all you young guys out there, and you really are, this is appealing to you, that they say you can take home this bike for $120 a month. I mean, just understand that $2,000 is a lot of money in interest. That is a quarter of the price of the bike. And you really, really want to avoid doing that. Trust me, I understand being young, and I understand just that, that instant gratification of having what you want right away without even thinking about interest rates and debt, and it's just not a good situation. It's not a road you want to go down. Take it from me. It's a lot of interest. $2,000 can buy you a tremendous amount of gear. It can buy you probably gas for the entire year, depending on what kind of rider you are, right? It can buy you a sick helmet, a sick jacket. I mean, even in terms of food, feeding your ass, you can't ride a motorcycle if you're starving to death. $2,000 can buy you so many groceries. Insurance, think about how much money you'd be throwing out the window if you only intend on making the minimum payments. So for all you young guys out there, just, have a plan if you're going to finance it, maybe work a second job, or, just make sure that you're not borrowing that money for a very long time, because the interest is just going to hammer you. And if you're young, if you're a guy under 25, just know you're buying a sports bike. I have great, excellent credit, right? If you're young, just starting out, your credit might not be that good, and the interest rates on the sport bikes are already insane. So, I can't imagine what it would be like for someone just starting out or with bad credit. As a young guy too, under 25, buying a sport bike, know that insurance to cover that bike, full coverage, it's going to be an arm and a leg. I crap you not, so that's something to consider as well. I'm paying $140 to insure my bike in California, full coverage on it. I'm not too stoked about that. I do have a couple of I have a traffic violation and a speeding ticket, and I think those are set to disappear this year. So I'm pretty happy about that. But I'm 32 years old with excellent credit. And just those two minor offenses, I pay $140 a month. That's a lot of money, So to think a young guy or girl starting out, insurance is going to be hefty. And if you buy a brand new motorcycle and you finance it, you have to get full coverage in California. So it's not even an option to go that cheap one-way insurance, which I really wouldn't recommend anyway if you get a brand new bike. Maybe if it's a cheaper bike, yeah, maybe consider that savings might be worth it. But, you're paying like $8,000 for a bike or something like that. You really just don't want to take too many chances with that, especially if it's your first motorcycle. You really don't have that much experience on a motorcycle. So those are the big things, guys. If you're looking for a brand new motorcycle from the dealership, know that there's going to be a lot of fees on top. You're going to go in there, if you're anything like me, thinking you're going to pay MSRP, and it's just going to be like $1,200 above MSRP, and you're just like, wow. So I don't want you to be shocked. I certainly was super naive about it the first time I went out there, and I think I paid a little more than I should have. So that's part of the reason why I'm making this video. This might be super common sense to a lot of you out there, but if this can help one newbie out there looking to go out there and buy a brand new motorcycle, then it's absolutely worth it. I have no regrets about that. So thank you everybody for that. And finally, I would say tips for saving money, I guess the main tip is, if you're a new rider and money is a concern, you're strapped for cash, then definitely buy a used motorcycle. Like, hands down, you will save thousands of dollars if you just buy used, right? And if you could be a little less specific with what you want, maybe if you decide you want a 2016 CBR500R, I'm not here to tell you, oh, you shouldn't get that. If you have your heart set on it, go for it. Follow your heart, right? Who the hell am I to tell you not to? But if saving money is important to you, and you think honestly and practically, like, yeah, it would be really good to save money, and my life would be a little bit better, and I wouldn't have to finance the bike and pay crazy interest, then just get a used bike. Find a 5 to 7 year old used bike from a good brand like Honda, right? And that way it's not really depreciating anymore. That bike is not really going to lose any more value while you own it. So you could damn near buy a bike for $3,000, a used 5 to 7 year old, good condition, for $3,000, ride it for a year while you save money, hone your skills. And then at the end of that year, you can sell it for $3,000, maybe even more or a little bit less. But basically you could ride that year for free, in terms of the motorcycle cost, just because you chose a slightly older bike that's not going to depreciate anymore. Someone's already bought that bike brand new and has taken all the depreciation cost. And now these things are just going to hold their value until the wheels fall off, right? Because that engine, a good Honda engine, it's going to last basically forever. So just know that you're going to save a lot of money. Cycle Trader, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. There's so many places to find great deals now. And if you can be less specific, and maybe just instead of saying specifically CBR500R, if you can just say, I want a sports bike and I want to pay $3,000, you're going to have so many options available to pick from. It's just going to be crazy. It's going to be so fun for you to pick out bikes and research different bikes and, come across things that you didn't consider before. And it's just going to be a great, great way to save money. So please keep that in mind, guys. And, that's it, guys, for saving money and just talking kind of about my experience at the dealership. And, for you new guys going into the dealership trying to buy your first bike, I think these tips will come in handy. Please let me know if they did. Please let me know if you're considering a new bike or a used bike and you experience, guys. Please let me know if you want to roast me in the comments or, give me your experience, because like I said, I'm still within my first year of riding. I know nothing. I'm Jon Snow here in terms of the motorcycling. But thanks again, everybody. Thanks for all my commenters and subscribers and everyone who's sharing kind words and just really posting in the comment section. I really, really, truly appreciate it. It feels amazing. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next time.